Hey, Rugby Hub viewers, and welcome back for another exciting episode after also a very exciting weekend of rugby. We are joined today with a very special guest and also Ernst Joubert. Gabsy, how are you doing, special guest?
Lovely to see you, Goran. Lovely to have you with us, Ernst. Yeah, so Ernst, thank you so much for taking the time. For those of you in South Africa, probably you know Ernst more as the husband of Dinky van der Westhuizen, but here on the Rugby Hub and internationally, we know Ernst as the guy who's played 161 games for Saracens, scored 100 points for Saracens, and he was also captaining the side to their first Premiership final in the year of 2010. Ernst, lovely to have you with us. Goran, I think, Ernst, if you just want to say hi there to our fans, it would be much appreciated.
How's it, gents? Good to be with you guys. Gabs, you are telling the truth. I am nowadays known as Ninky's husband and not Ernst Joubert anymore. Had a name change a while back, but all's good. It's fun to chat to you guys, and yeah, looking forward to the next few minutes to give my opinion about what I think where the games will go.
Firstly, I mean, we could call you as well a legend of the game for your contribution to Saracens, and actually like to pick a little bit of your brain with regards to the culture and Saracens. They obviously playing their Premiership final against Sale this coming weekend. If it's any indication of the final that we've seen in the Europe Champions Cup, we're in for an absolute belter. We have a few topics of discussion, obviously the Ford versus Farrell, and then Saracens being the favourites after 2022, where they had their hearts sank by Mr. Burns in that drop goal. Ernst, what's your take on the game this coming weekend?
Goran, I think, to be honest with you, look, it'll be a physical game. There's a strong Saracens flavour in the sense that Alex Arneson, who used to be at Saracens for 7 or 8 or even almost 10 years, is now the head coach at Sale, so he will know Sarries inside out. There's obviously an interesting battle between Ford and Farrell. They're good mates as well, and they know each other well. I would like to think, if you just look at the stats in the past, that Saracens might be the favourite just because they've been in recent finals. That first final you tend to go into, you're just so happy to be in the final that sometimes it's very hard to play against the experienced unit that's got a squad that's seen the final before and they've been involved. Sale Sharks physical, and there's obviously a strong South African presence with a few big boys there, and they know what they do. And Ford will obviously pull the strings. So it'll be a physical game, but I think the experience that Sarries might have will pull them through maybe in this one. I haven't really seen the weather and the predictions, but I would think that Saracens will still rely on their basically strong kicking foundation, even though they do throw the ball around a little bit more nowadays.
Yeah. You have to be said as well that they are going into this game as favourites, which is usually a label that nobody likes to have. How do Saracens cope with that label and maybe the pressure of expecting to win this final?
Look, I don't think they'll have expectancy to win it. I think they'll know that they'll have to arrive and play well. I don't think necessarily. I think Saracens have been in that for the last few years, except obviously off the relegation year. They kind of, for a long time, they were the favourite team, and they realised it, and they lived up to the challenge. So I don't think it'll be anything new. Look, I don't think they has got the strong squad they used to, where you almost have 8 internationals that came off the bench. I think that's a bit different. That's where they used to be very strong, but they've still got the experience in the team to really play well on the big stage, and I think they will.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen that from Owen Farrell. He really has that, big match, kind of. He comes to the table in the big games, and I think that's exactly where his BMT will be important. But I mean, if we go over to a prediction on this game, Ernst, what would you say would happen in this game? Are you going to back your boys?
I will back my boys. I think it'll be rude not to. I think Sarries might edge it. I think both teams. I haven't seen a lot of Sale this year, to be honest. Even though I know they've got a strong physical team, and I think both teams will be. I think the ball. I don't know what the weather will be like, but I'll be surprised if it's going to be a boring, just kicking contest. I think the ball will get thrown around. I think a few tries might be scored. I don't think it'll be the highest of scoring games, but I think there might be 10 points in it, hopefully towards
It's actually going to be a perler in London on Saturday afternoon, 20 degrees, no rain. So
people on the beach.
I'm going to be the classic, the classic Patriot South African that I am, and I'm going to actually go here for Sale just to back the boys.
The underdogs.
As always, back the underdogs. I think they're going to throw the ball around. Obviously, they go in definitely as not being the favorites, and I mean, we've seen in the game last weekend in the Heineken Cup final that La Rochelle was definitely also not the favorites. And they came out, obviously, nothing to lose. And I think Sale's going to have the same mentality. I mean, definitely, it's going to be a tough ask because Saracens is really a strong team and well-oiled. So I think it's not going to be easy to take them down and make them soft up front. But, you know, with those South Africans up front, it's possible.
You claim that you patriotic and backing Sale, but you got to remember who was the original first South African loaded team in the UK, the trendsetters. So I don't know how patriotic you actually are going for Sale.
He's not, man. He's not very patriotic.
The foundations was built on South African players as well. But
I live in the current, and I think right now we only have Ivan van Zyl there, which I'm also not sure, if that's enough to get me on their side.
Fair play.
I mean, he has added a lot of value, has Ivan van Zyl, to be honest, to that squad. And I must say his distribution from the base has been excellent. Ernst, there's been some criticism on the Premiership rugby that it's not quite living up to the likes of the URC, the French top 14, and then obviously with the European Champions Cup. However, it has picked up in the past few weeks, and obviously from some great performances from your two sort of fly-offs. But I want to focus more on your experience in 2010 when you did reach the final, didn't manage to get it done like Saracens last year, and then coming back the next year to win it. What is the secret there that they would want to keep in mind?
Look, I think that first year was, I don't know, people expected a lot of us because it was the first year Brennan came in. I think we had 14 new players in the squad, maybe even more. And we had a simple game plan, but we all believed in it, and the guys rose to the challenge. And Leicester was very strong at that time. That strong era where they basically won everything. And we battled. We started well in the season, had a massive dip, and then the laws changed a bit with the ball stealer had to show clear daylight. So
I remember.
We went from a team that kicked everything after 3 phases to a team that didn't kick at all. So I don't think teams expected it. They had about 5 players in the backfield and we ran everything. So we ended strong. And unfortunately, we came short 2 minutes before the end. Leicester scored a try. And I think a lot of teams can fall flat there. And the vital thing was that we, as a team, rose to the challenge and realized we got close and we can do even better. And you can see teams, if they miss that opportunity, they can easily implode the next year, and then they just lost to all eternity to ever win a trophy. And luckily, we bounced back in the 2010-11 season and against Leicester again and turned things around and won the trophy. And I think that laid the foundations for a very strong series team that believed in themselves for years and years and years, and also a team that through the tough time they went through, actually didn't lose a lot of players. The guys decided to stick it out and stay in the championship because they believed in the club and they believed what was going on, and the club showed loyalty to them, and I think a lot of the players showed loyalty back. And I think that's why the team is still going strong, because the guys actually love playing for the team.
Yeah, building that culture. Yeah,
you're giving me goosebumps here when you speak like that. So before I shed a tear, I think, Goran, if you can just give us your prediction of that game, I think we should then also slowly transition over to the URC game.
I'm going to go with Sarries, Gabs. I'll make it very short. I'll go with Sarries. I think it's going to be a belt of a game. I'm excited. The other game, obviously, we can maybe transition now into the URC. But before, maybe just say congratulations to La Rochelle, which was an epic final against Leinster. Leinster didn't come away with the silverware, unfortunately, even though they've had a phenomenal season. So they'll definitely look back at that and hopefully come back stronger in the years to come. But yeah, the quality of rugby that was played was absolutely phenomenal. And let's hope, Gabsy and Ernst, let's hope that it's the same for the URC, and that the boys can come out and come out firing.
Yeah, I mean, Goran, if we look just at the build-up of the URC final, 55,000 people. I think the last time that there was 55,000 people in Greenpoint Stadium was in the first sevens that was held in Cape Town. So that's already, a full stadium. They'll probably squeeze over 55,000 people in there the way we know the Cape Townians. But yeah, I mean, one thing that obviously stood out was, I don't know, you guys have probably seen that on social media. The video of the Stormers celebrating that they will have a home final against Munster. It's almost as if they won the cup already, even though they haven't really beaten Munster in recent years in the URC. So that's quite, interesting to see how they celebrated that. Obviously, they go in as favourites, full stadium at home. They've been playing phenomenal rugby, but let's chat a bit about it. Ernst, do you have anything to add on this game? Anything that you think will be crucial in this game?
Well, first of all, I think that video was taken out of proportion. I think any team that sits there and watch a game together, and you either got to get on an airplane and fly 12 hours, or in South Africa's case, via Qatar with a 10-hour layover and then fly again, and all of a sudden finding out you got a home final, obviously you're going to be excited. You're going to say a few things. I don't think any player there thought they already won the final. No, it's obviously good. It's obviously good to get a home final, and it's exciting, and it's good for the union as well. That's gone through the struggles of their own. Look, it's going to be a tough one. Munster knows how to win championships. They've done it in the past. They've got a physical team. They've got good defence. The field might be a bit worrying at the moment. There's a lot of rain in Cape Town at the moment. It's actually raining quite hard now, and the field will be wet, which might suit a Munster team that's used to the traditional kicking game. The Stormers want to throw the ball around a bit, and they want to live up to the expectations of what their fans believe they can do. They've got a brilliant defence with the coach Norman Laker instilling a proper defensive game plan. I think that game plan with the defence is quite vital, having Dion Fourie there, just because he slows the ball down 3 to 4 seconds, and they can get their defence. And it showed earlier the year when he didn't play how hard it was for them. So I don't think, by no means it'll be a walkover. I think it'll be a very physical battle, and I think actually that luckily we've got a strong front row, but I think that the field and the damp underfoot can have a bigger impact than we actually think it can on the day, even though the weather will be decent.
On that point, Aaron, I mean, the pitch hasn't been in great shape in general. And we saw against Connacht how the scrum really suffered, which is one of the weapons of the Stormers, and how that actually suffered. So, I mean, Munster can take that strength away from them, with obviously the pitch not being in good shape. And then the lineouts of the Stormers has not been great. And you've got the likes of RK Snyman, you've got Peter Omani. These guys can really cause some trouble for Joseph Dweba, who his throwing hasn't been that great. And then obviously, like you said, Munster is a forward pack with a lot of grit. They work very hard off the ball. And I think that comes to show how they beat Leinster, right? So to say now that they're underdogs, I mean, yes, they're playing away from home, so they'll be dealing with that and against a lot of fans. But they had a very quick start in their semi-final against Leinster, which immediately put them into the game. And on the other side, Stormers had a very slow start to the game with a lot of handling errors. And then, yes, they only had 33% possession in that game and still managed to put up, 43 or something points, which shows that they are a team that can play without the ball. But once again, with the rain coming down like it is now, like you said, Aaron, this can obviously, and the defense of Munster, this can obviously take that away from them. So I think those with the returning players and everything, I think Munster will be definitely an opponent that the Stormers should fear, and obviously having lost to them 3 weeks ago with the first home loss that the Stormers have taken since end of 2021. So I think the Munster would be licking their lips, and hopefully after they saw that video, they'd maybe, like you said, put it out of context and want to go all the way. So yeah,
you make a couple of excellent points, Goran. I think, yeah, both of you have pointed out. I mean, the pitch is also going to be crucial. Luckily, I mean, just looking at the weather conditions, it's not going to help much, but tomorrow is dry, Saturday is dry. I hope it helps a little bit for the boys up front, because against Connacht, it was really pathetic. I was getting angry to see almost every single scrum being reset just purely because they couldn't scrum. They have to find a new spot on the pitch. So that could really be crucial. As you said, it's a weapon of the Stormers. But yeah, we have to make some predictions on this game, I guess it's going to be a very tough one. But I'm going to just start it off with definitely backing the Stormers. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a Blue Bull fan, but I won't say it out loud again.
You're not patriotic at all. You never support one team. You swing one way to the other every week.
That's not true. You know, I've been supporting the Bulls since 1995. So anyways, the point is, I think, you know, if the Stormers get some ball, I do think they will obviously also adapt to the playing conditions. I don't think they're going to be idiots and just go and do the same thing they did against Connacht. They're definitely going to come out with a different approach. And if you give the guys like Lebok and Willems some ball, Dan du Plessis playing some phenomenal rugby on inside centre, I do think they're going to try to run over them the way they've been doing it with other teams, and they're going to go out and play some rugby. And I'm going to back them because I like the way they play. And Lebok has been excellent off the tee. If he can maintain that form, I do think, you know, they should take this game home and be, you know, back-to-back champions. So I'm going to back the Stormers on that one. Ernst, prediction from your side?
I'll go with the home team, to be honest. I think the interesting thing with the Stormers, and you mentioned it earlier, Goran, is they do have a strong set piece, but they don't really rely on a strong set piece. So it's a team that actually want the other team to get into this broken play where the ball falls on the ground, and that's where they kill you. So even if they can get the ascendancy and the set piece, it'll be very hard for Munster to beat them. If not, it'll be a closer game. But I think the home crowd might just be the edge for the Stormers this one.
Excellent.
It's a good point. Well, to me, it's whoever starts the game best. I think that's going to be the major point. And if Munster starts the game like they did in Leinster, it's going to be a difficult day for the Stormers. But since the both of you said Stormers, and I am actually a Stormers supporter, I'll go with Munster with the Irish supporters.
You also dressed for the occasion here today in your little maroon shirt. I guess I could have already guessed that beforehand. No, but Gori, thank you so much for that. Ernst, thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, as always, please leave us in the comments section below what you think will happen this weekend. And also, you know, what you want us to chat in the build up to the World Cup. Thank you so much for your time, Ernst, today. And Goran, thank you for your time as always. It was lovely to speak with you guys, and we are really excited for this weekend's games. It's going to be huge.
Thanks so much,
James,
guys.
thank you very much.
Ernst.
It was good. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Keep well.